to replace our driver's side rear caliper and bracket located right behind your driver's side rear wheel. Process for the driver's side rear is the same for the passenger side. Using our 22mm socket, we're going to loosen and remove our lug nuts. Okay, and grab your wheel, set that aside. Using a number 12 socket, let's go ahead, remove our slider bolts right here. We'll set our caliper aside. I want to go ahead and pull out our slider pins here. So just peel back the boot. Do this on both. And pull the pins. I'm going to go ahead and inspect these here. There's a very minimal amount of grease on here. We're going to add a little bit to these here. And then reinstall. A little added protection here. I'm going to do the same for this pin here. I'm going to add a couple dabs of grease. Install our sliders here. And repeat for the other side. I'm going to use a number 14mm socket. What we're going to do is going to remove the flex line bolt right here. Now this is a banjo bolt. Fluid is going to come out of this here, so you want to go ahead and have a catch can underneath to catch any brake fluid that comes out of this. I'm going to pull that bolt out, and there should be a copper washer on the bolt side, and there's going to be one on the other side of the hose. Go ahead and wiggle this off. And there is a copper washer here, so you want to make sure that you remove this here. Pop that off. You're going to take a new bolt with the copper washer, put it through the flex hose, install the copper washer, new copper washer on the other side here. Then we're going to grab our new caliper, line that up, and we're simply going to get this lined up, bolt it on. Once you have that bolt started, go ahead and tighten it down. Once that's snug, I want to go ahead and wipe this down. I want to get any of that residual brake fluid off of this. Once that's wiped down, you can go ahead and set it aside. You want to make sure that when that caliper is set up aside, you don't have any pressure or pulling on the flex hose here. You want to have that in a neutral position. We're going to use our 12mm, loosen and remove our caliper bolts. Go ahead and remove that caliper. And you can lower that down into your catch can. Go ahead and remove your brake pads. Set those aside. Go ahead and loosen and remove our caliper bracket bolts. Go ahead and remove your caliper bracket. Place our new caliper bracket in position here. I'm going to get our upper bolt started. Once we have that in a few threads, go ahead and get the lower one started. Let's go ahead and snug those down. Install your inboard pad. Install the outboard pad. With these in place, we're going to go ahead and install our little spring clips here. They just go into the holes in the top and bottom of our pads and push them outward. So make sure those are fully seated. We're going to hold these together. I'm going to go ahead and bring our caliper over and on. Slide this over. And we'll get that caliper lined up with our slider pins. We'll go ahead and get these bolts started. Get that upper bolt started. Once both bolts are started, let's go ahead and snug those down. Going to torque the caliper bolts to 27 foot-pounds. Let's go ahead and tighten down our flex hose bolt to 25 foot-pounds. Let's torque down our caliper bracket bolts to 65 foot-pounds. Now that we have everything torqued down, you want to get and hop into the vehicle. You want to pump up the brakes. Make sure that this piston compresses all the way. Then you want to open up your hood. Double check your brake fluid level. Top it off as necessary. Then you can go ahead and put your wheel on, go for a road test. I'm going to go ahead and remove this rubber boot right here. This is covering our brake bleeder screw. We use our 10mm wrench. Going to open up this bleeder screw, and what this is going to allow to happen is brake fluid will come down this brake hose here, come in, fill up our piston, and then come out here. Once you see fluid start to come out, tighten this back down, wipe it down, and put your rubber cap back on. Now that we have fluid coming out, go ahead and tighten this down. Go ahead and wipe this down. Go ahead and install your wheel. Once you get this installed, we're going to install all of our lug nuts. We'll snug them up. Then we'll put the car down on the ground and we'll torque them down. Let's go ahead and torque down our lug nuts to 95 foot-pounds.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.